All right, well, it is 1:05, so we will go ahead and get started. I want to thank everyone for coming to the Zoom meeting today. Again, my name is Mr. Haskell. I am the principal. We have a lot of our leadership team as well as our office staff on the Zoom as well to help answer any questions that might come up throughout the presentation. Real quick to introduce everyone, we have Miss Elder, who is our K2 assistant principal. We have Miss Barbine, who is our 3-5 assistant principal. We have Miss Chandler, who is our 6-8 assistant principal. We have Miss Markovich, who is our dean. We have Miss Consolo, who is our instructional coach. We have Miss Phillips, who is our gate teacher and mentor teacher. We have Miss Utuk, who is our read by grade 3 strategist. And we have Miss Herrera, who's our office manager, and Miss Bolden, who is our registrar. So I think with that, we got all questions covered and we can easily address anything that comes up. I wanted to hold this meeting just to touch base with everybody. You know, the year is fastly approaching and sometimes you can kind of feel like you're in the dark if you don't get any communication throughout the summer. So we wanted to hold this meeting just to give you an opportunity to really just, you know, get ready for open house and the first day or week of school and be comfortable with coming in and starting the year out. So if you're new to us, welcome. If you're returning, a lot of this stuff you may already know. We do have a few updates to get to, but really just we want to open the lines of communication with you and let you ask any questions you may have just so that you are able to feel prepared for the upcoming school year. So the agenda that we're going to touch on today, and again, you can ask questions about anything. As I go through the slides, if you have a question on that agenda item, please type it in the chat. Our team here will answer the best they can within the chat. And at the end, we'll do a Q&A at the end. But we're going to go over our mission and vision as we always do with these meetings. We're going to cover the supply list so you know what to have prepared for the first day of school. We're going to go over when you're going to get your class placements and your schedules. I know that's a big one for families and students. We'll go over what the Meet the Teacher night will look like on August 12th. We're going to go over a couple uniform updates that we have. We've updated car loop times a little bit. We are going to go through our cell phone policy and our shade structures are being put in from last year. That's exciting. Mission 17 is an exciting endeavor that we're going to be taking this coming year. Introduce you to some of our community partners. You'll also be able to have a chance to meet at Meet the Teacher night. And our PTO is putting on a family movie night this Friday as well, if you're interested. So we'll go through the presentation here. The mission at Pinecrest Academy, it's been the same since we've opened, is to unite the community to prepare students for college and career. We keep it very simple, very straightforward. That's our mission, and all the decisions that we make here as administrators and teachers has that mission in mind. We want to bring the families in, the community partners, and also the parents. I truly believe it's a team effort to get these children prepared for college and career. And then the vision is that Pinecrest scholars will perform at the highest levels on all academic standards. So for the supply lists, we have them listed on the Pinecrest Families tab. And if you go to supply lists, you can find all the grade levels there. And I'm actually going to switch out of the presentation to go to it real quick. Also, you can find it in the Panther periodical. If you're getting those emails, you have to make sure your Infinite Campus is clicked to choose to get the emails from the school. And it's always in there as well. But I am going to real quick go to our website because a lot of the information that we're going over today can be found at some place on the website. Sorry, that's the wrong one. So if you go to the families page tab right here on the website and you go down to supply lists, everything is listed over here. So you can hit grade 2 and you can pull up the supply list. So those are all accessible right there on the website. One thing we always do with some of the supplies this year, instead of adding, in years past, we would add the classroom supplies and then supplies for all the specialists, art, PE, music, STEM, all of that. Instead, we just put that into a $10 charge. We're also requiring all students to use agendas this year. That's also going to be a $5 charge. And there's a $10 technology charge because we are a one-to-one Chromebook school and we want to keep it that way. So those charges will show up on your Infinite Campus account outside of the suggested supply list that you can find on the website. And the agendas are going to be a big push this year coming out of the pandemic. We want to get back to the students learning those life skills of organization. They go with the 7 habits of successful people that we teach here at the school about being proactive, beginning with the end in mind, putting first things first, are just 3 of the habits that the agenda really helps the kids learn. So that will be mandatory, and we will be ensuring that the teachers use those. In the past, we've had them. Some teachers use them, some didn't. It's going to be a real push and a real expectation that all teachers do provide time for students to utilize those agendas so the students can take ownership of their own learning and know what they're doing. So the supply lists are there on the website. Your teacher placements. So our Infinite Campus will be through the parent portal on August 8th. When you go into that parent portal on Infinite Campus, you'll be able to, if you're K-5, you'll see your students, just their teacher's name, their classroom placement. If you are 6-8, you will see your child's daily schedule. Their first 4 periods, which are your core subjects, ELA, math, science, and social studies, and then they'll have 2 electives at the end of the day. So tentatively, hopefully that's our goal, that we get those out on the 8th. That gives an entire week before Meet the Teacher for you to find that information and know where you're going when you do come for Meet the Teacher, on where you want to go to get to your classrooms. So August 8th through the campus portal. Also, they will be available. We can look them up and or print them out at Meet the Teacher if you can't navigate through your Infinite Campus. If you can't get into your Infinite Campus login at all, please email Jennifer Bolden. That's our registrar. She is the only one that can reset your Infinite Campus username and password. And usually that email is only good for like 24 hours. So you really got to kind of be right on top of it to then get the email and set up your account. Very important to have that Infinite Campus account set up though, because that is how we do mass school-wide communications throughout the year. You can choose if you want to email, if you want to text message, or both, and it's information directly to your phone. I highly recommend the text message communication through Infinite Campus. That's where we do all of our weekly school-wide communication. On Meet the Teacher is August 12th, so that is a couple Fridays from now. We're going to have 2 sessions just to alleviate the traffic in the building so it's not so crowded. We are asking that anyone with a last name A through L comes from 9 to 11. That's for returning families. If you're a new family and want additional information, we're going to do it 8:30 to 9, so a half hour before the returning families come in. You can come in and we'll go over a few things that are going to be new to you that you're going to want to know to start the year out. And then we're going to have an afternoon session, same thing, last names M through Z from 1 to 3. If you're a new family, again, please come to that new family info session. Things like our car loop system, how to drop off and pick up is a real big one that our new families need to learn and become assimilated with. And just some other things to know as a new family. So in order to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to have different entrances for new families versus returning. That way we can let the new families in for that half hour, and then we can let the returning families in once that time starts. So new families, we're going to ask that you enter by the doors right next to the front office. If you're coming up to the front office, just to the left of it, there's some double doors, and we'll have signage outside to direct you where to go, and staff members there as well to direct you and guide you where to go. But we're going to ask all new families enter at that door if you're going to come for the early session. And then returning families, we ask that kind of depending on where you park, we'll have gate 3 open on the east end of the building, and then we'll have around the back the Panther Den open for if you're kind of coming from the west side of the building. So we'll have 2 entrances, and again, there'll be signs out there that are pointing you in the right direction for open house. The multi-purpose room will be a very busy happening place, so be sure to stop in there, especially if you enter through the gate 3 and just go right into the building. Please make your way to the multi-purpose room. PTO will be doing their used uniform sale again. We'll have all of our community partners out there that kind of run clubs for us after school or do other things throughout the community. We'll have sports information for the fall sports that'll be coming up. We'll have Teams information, which is our after school care if you're a new family and not familiar with that term. And then we'll also have Chromebook checkout for our 6 through 8 families, so their students can come first day prepared with their Chromebooks. All K-5 students will get their Chromebooks in their classroom from their classroom teacher. It's the middle schoolers who take them back and forth that are going to need them. Here is our uniform policy. If you go to the uniform store, I know they were real full. I was just there the other day, so they have a lot. The biggest thing is polo shirts. There was some confusion last year. We do not have white for polo shirts. White and black are not our colors for polos. We are the navy, maroon, and gray. So we did see some a black, which is a Cadence campus, red, like a bright red, which is a Horizon Cadence, and we saw some of the white, which is a Horizon campus and a Sloan campus. So the white shirts, the only white shirts that we allow are the button down ones that like go under a jumper for the girls. But the polos, we do not do white. That was one of the biggest things we saw last year. And we let a lot of things slide last year just because we were coming out of the pandemic and we just wanted the kids here at school. We wanted them learning. And so some of those things might have slid last year. You may have said, well, my son wore, white all last year. So that might be a bit of a change. But we are going to be enforcing just those navy, maroon, and gray polos. Pants and shorts, they can be navy colored or khaki. The biggest thing we see with shorts is there's no cargo pockets allowed. So that's the number one kind of small infraction of the uniform. Again, we're really looking to enforce this. I know it seems kind of nitpicky at times, but we do have a uniform policy and we are going to enforce it as it is written in the parent-student handbook. These are just some of the highlights and some of the things that we see. The skirts, approximate knee length, and again, navy, khaki, or the maroon and gray plaid. You can see a picture of the plaid skirt there. Pay close attention to the color. Again, Cadence has a plaid skirt that is red and black. Ours is maroon and gray. So just pay attention to those colors because we will be enforcing those colors on all those items. Shoes must be closed-toed. Last year, we got a lot of Crocs coming in towards the end of the year and slipper type of shoes. Those are not allowed. They do need to be a closed-toed shoe with a strap on the back. And socks are navy, maroon, gray, black, or white solid colors. One big change that we're making this year is in past years, we used to allow sweaters and hoodies and things like that outside. This year, we're not allowing that. They have to be Pinecrest hoodies or sweaters. The only thing that we'll allow that pretty much doesn't have a Pinecrest emblem or crest is a jacket. During the cold months, if the kids need to wear a jacket when they're outside, that's fine, as long as when they come in, they have a uniform underneath. The reason for this is that we battled all year long with hoodies, which again, it seems very nitpicky to us. We want the kids in class. We want them learning. We don't have to want to pull them out because they have a Vans hoodie on. Not the biggest deal in the world. However, it is the kind of the base of our school is that establishes our culture, our climate here at the school, that we are a uniform school. And once we see those small infractions start to go, then we see other infractions kind of snowball from there. So we are going to do a very diligent job this year on enforcing those policies and making sure that everybody's in compliance with the uniform policy. Some of the things, again, that are not permitted are non-Pinecrest sweaters or sweatshirts, things like the Vans or other ones that don't have the emblem. Crocs or similar slippers or shoes are not permitted. High heels are not permitted. House slippers, hats of any kind are not permitted unless it's like during reading week and it's a dress up type of day. Pants with rips or tears. So when we have our spirit days, students are allowed to wear jeans. Those can't have any rips or tears in them. No huge holes from the pocket to the ankle, the way these the styles are, some of them today. And we are taking rolling backpacks out of the equation. We did allow this during the pandemic for the younger kids because we were having them bring like everything to and from their computer, their textbooks, everything. Their backpacks were getting a bit heavy. So we allowed rolling backpacks because we never knew when we were going to have to send everybody home and go virtual. We are rolling that back and taking that off, and the kids cannot have that rolling backpack anymore. It did pose a lot of tripping hazards throughout the campus and very loud and disruptive going down the stairs and things like that. We do have a student store on Infinite Campus, so you can buy if the uniform store does not have hoodies or sweaters or things. We have our own that we've developed over the years. We'll add more this year as well. We do have new stock available, so you can go on there and put the charge on Infinite Campus, pay through Infinite Campus, and pick up at the school. So that'll be going on throughout the year. We'll update the stock. We'll have new styles, and that's a place. If the uniform store doesn't have something as far as a hoodie or a sweater or socks, then you can get it through our store on Infinite Campus. Updates on Carloop. So for Carloop, we are shortening the drop-off by 5 minutes because we need the students in the seats ready to learn at 8 a.m. What was happening a lot of times is that families would pull in at 8, and by the time the kids got to class, it was too late. Or we'd keep the gates open until 8, but by the time the kids got to class, they were actually tardy, even though they weren't marked tardy, but they were missing instruction. Our goal is to have every kid in the seat and not miss any instruction whatsoever with this policy. And so therefore we will be closing the doors at that 7:55 mark, so that anybody that gets there by 7:55, there's no reason the child can't get to class within that 5 minutes. So please be here early rather than late. Same as we tell the teachers, you know, if you're pulling in at 8 o'clock, that's tardy. Just because you're on campus or maybe in Carloop at 8, the cutoff is the kids inside the classroom sitting in that seat. That's our tardy deadline. And then as well as our afternoon, we're shortening it by 5 minutes so that we can stay within our contracted time for all of our teachers and staff. So we're going to, it's 3 to 3:25, which usually gets us stopping right at that 3:30 mark because that last loop kind of takes a little 5 minutes or so. So just 5 minutes on either end to help with our procedures to just smoothen out the arrival and dismissal. New families and old families, Panther Den procedures. So again, if a new family, we have a Carloop system where you can drive on campus, drop your child off or pick them up. If you don't want to utilize that, because there is usually a little bit of a wait time to pick them up, you can park across the street. We have crossing guards that are available. There's 2 streets. I can never remember both. I know one's Escondido, but I don't know the other. And you can park there, walk across. Our Panther Den's in the back of the school. And as a parent, if you want to park across the street, walk up to the back of the school, and we can we'll plug in your number that you'll get for Carloop at Meet the Teacher, which we'll explain to new families as well. And the kids will just come right to you, and then you can walk with them back across the street to pick them up. That's usually that's a good way for new families, definitely, just to make sure that the kids come right to where they need to be. Also, for dismissal, you can, during your registration packet, you chose if you wanted your child to be a walker or not. So they're already in the system, but we don't rely solely on that. Usually the students will, if the student's listed as a walker, they'll pop up, but the students might say, yeah, I'm getting picked up today, so they're going to stay. But if you do list your child as a walker, that means you are giving them permission to walk off campus at 3:10. We hold them for just a minute so that we can get that first Carloop through, and then we release the walkers at 3:10. So if you've listed your child as a walker, just know they will pop up as a walker. But if you're a family, if you know you're going to be picking them up, then you need to make sure that you communicate that either through Class Dojo with the teacher or your child, to tell them, stay in the classroom. I'm going to be picking you up either through Carloop or Panther Den today. Do not walk and leave. So that's a big one. And again, more information at Meet the Teacher Night for new families on our dismissal procedures. Our cell phone policy. So we went back and forth with this one for a very long time. Before pre-pandemic, we did not allow students to use cell phones at any time throughout the day, not a single time. As the kids came back, We gave them a little leeway the last year to where they could use them at lunchtime only. However, we are scaling that back and saying no cell phones for students. They can have them on themselves. They can keep them with them, but they've got to be turned off. So what we're finding is, kids can be talking to each other over their earbuds at in different classrooms on silent mode. And it was a distraction for students last year. The teachers really requested this. And going back to our mission and vision, we feel like no cell phones aligns with our mission and vision. We are trying to prepare these students for college and career. We want them to excel on all academic standards, and cell phones are just a huge distraction to both of those. So again, they can have them on their person. They can keep them with them. We expect them to be turned off. Even when they're on silent mode, the students can still utilize them, same as if it was on a ring. And not to mention all of the social media that we want to eliminate from the campus. We don't need bathroom TikToks happening or other forms of making fun of each other, or taking pictures of each other, or recording each other, or all things that have bubbled to the surface with the use of cell phones. So that is something that we will be enforcing. The progressive discipline is down here. First time, we'll just take it from them and they'll do a day in lunch detention. Second time, and then the student themselves can pick it up from the front office. Second time, it is taken in a lunch detention, but then an adult needs to come pick it up so that you're aware that your child is continually breaking this policy. And then third time, we'll just call you in for a meeting to see what we can do to sort out the situation so that the students follow this policy. It might be tough. I understand that children are probably addicted to these devices, and out of sight, out of mind is the best way for us to go about this. If they have it in their pocket and they know that it's on and it's vibrating, they're still using it essentially. So we want to take that temptation away completely. But as I said, they can still have it on them in case of emergency, or they walk off campus and you want them to call them when they get to their friend's house, or whatever the case may be. I do understand that families do use this as a communication tool, which is totally fine. It's just, if you need to communicate during the day, children can come to the front office and call home. You can call the front office if you need to communicate with your child. So that will be the new policy in place. Happy to say, and I'm praying that they get done in time. This is a very, very long process with permitting and soil samples and everything else, but we did last year raise enough funds to put in shade structures. So if you've seen the campus lately, we have three shade structures going in. We have one that's a 25 by 50 that'll resemble, not the same colors, but will resemble this top picture here. That it's going to go where the tether balls were, kind of right behind the basketball courts, in between the turf area. And then we're going to move the tether balls to another spot in the playground. And then we have two more that look like this bottom left picture going up near the school. And our goal is to just line the outside of the school with those. So throughout the years, we'll have enough shade and comfortable areas for kids to be able to be outside. Very, very hopeful it gets done in time, but thankful also that we do have huge holes in the ground and the process has been started. I've been told that we'll be ready by the first day of school, but with construction these days, there's no guarantees. On that note, we did get a lot of our other things that we had promoted for our fundraiser. We got a big poster maker for the teachers to utilize in the classroom. We have all the disco balls and laser lights and fog machines and things to throw dances for the kids throughout the year, middle school and elementary. We getting some new speakers set up in the multi-purpose room. So hopefully we can fix the little echo or the dull spot in there. And we've got some curtains, some pipe and drape curtains for our productions. When we do band concerts and plays, we can make it look a little bit nicer in there with some spotlights and other things. So very successful fundraiser, and everything that we promoted for is all coming to fruition. All right, so this is a very exciting new thing that we are going to be doing this year. We're going to be, since it's new, we're piloting it with our 5th and 8th grade students. What it is going to be, it's called Student Space Experiment Program. You can go look it up. It's SSEP. This is the 17th year they're doing it. And what it is that our 5th and 8th grade students, it's a 9-week course that they're going to be learning in their science class. and they're going to be grouped up into groups of 3 and 5, and they are going to do an actual STEM activity where they design an experiment that can be conducted in microgravity. So they essentially the variable that they are going to be testing is gravity. You can't do that here on Earth. And so what it is we will choose 3 of the best projects. We'll send them off to the SSP program. They will choose one program, one experiment, and that student's experiment will be flown to the International Space Station on a SpaceX rocket to be conducted by actual astronauts on the International Space Station. They'll then take our experiment, they'll send it back down to Earth, and our students will be able to compare the results of their experiment, which they did here on Earth with gravity, versus the experiment the astronauts did on the International Space Station without gravity, and they can compare the results. So we will be joining the United States Space Program this year. It's very exciting. And like I said, it's for 5th and 8th grade students this year. If it's successful, we'll probably do it for all middle school students, and then they'll all have a chance to do that year after year. But that's something that's very exciting for us, and we are looking for community partners to help support this endeavor. So if you do know of anybody that's in a STEM field, or even has a realtor business, or any type of business they want to promote, please have them email me. We have a little marketing package that we're offering them to help fundraise. So very exciting for this. And then all the students will be part of it. There'll be a competition on the campus to design a mission patch that will go with the experiment to space. And so that's a way for us to include all of the students in this, and not just the 5th and 8th graders. A couple of community partners that are already on board we've used in the past, and I highly, highly recommend. Sapiens has been with us for a few years now. They offer mental math program to really help the kids do mental math. If you go to their website, you can see some testimonials, and these kids are like calculators with very high level computations in their head. And they also do some homework help as well. So Sapiens has been with us for a while now, and again, highly recommended. Their students that go through their program can do mental math like none other. It's amazing what they can do. And also our Vegas Great Knights Instructional Chess Club, they'll be at our Meet the Teacher. Coach Seth Berger, also a parent here with us, and so I highly recommend that as a club. The amount of critical thinking the students get out of learning to play chess is phenomenal. So that's another one that they'll be doing 10-week sessions, 2-hour classes per week here at the campus, and you can get all that information at open house. We also are partners with, but we just kind of got the information today, with Truman Orthodontics, who will also be helping us go to space, and they're also do a lot for the campus. They buy lunch for the staff every once in a while, and they'll be a partner as well. Sorry. Finally, movie night this July 29th. The PTO is putting on a family movie night. It's Encanto, so it'll be in the multi-purpose room. You can enter through what we call the Panther Den in the back of the multi-purpose room. There is a $5 charge per person, which includes a bag of popcorn and a piece of candy, and students must be accompanied by an adult. Please RSVP at that link. I will try to send this out as an email as well later today to help promote the PTO. They are currently working to raise funds to support the school, and this is one of the ways that they just welcome in the community and have a great little night there. Starts at 6:30 p.m. So with all of that, as I said, there's still a lot more to know and learn at Meet the Teacher as far as curriculum and student logins and all kinds of things like that. I really just wanted to open the lines of communication, say hi to everybody. Hope everybody's having a great summer, and just kind of not keep you in the dark the whole time. We have sent out a couple periodicals, Panther periodicals, with all of this communication on there as well. Our Infinite Campus is currently rolling over, so we can't do the text messages right now. You should be getting everything through email, so please be sure to check your email frequently. as we come up to meet the teacher and the beginning of the school year. With that, I will turn it over to the leadership team office. Anything in the chat that we need to clarify or any questions that I did not cover?
Mr. Haskell, I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So I have 3 kids coming back to school this year. I will be meeting everyone's teacher on August 12th?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good. Thank you.
Yep. So and that's in years past, we did like elementary and middle school, but families that had both didn't want to have to come back. And so that's why we did a last name. So whether you have an 8th grader, a 5th grader, and a kindergarten, you can see all their teachers all in that time slot according to your last name.
Okay, yeah, 2 of them are in elementary and 1 is in middle school, so I can see them all on the same day. That's
Yep.
great. Thank
You
you.
don't have to come back. You don't have 2 times.
Thank you.
Yep.
Just a couple notes that I wrote down. Embroidery does need to come from all uniform wear for the uniforms. You can't do the embroidery yourself. Agendas will be given out the first week of school to the students by the teachers. And on meet the teacher time, you'll be getting your placard for Car Loop. That's when you'll be getting those.
Any other questions?
I think there was a question about lunch. Was there any update to how you sign up for that? Is it going to be like it was last year or previous years?
Yeah, so the lunch, we will have a spot at the Meet the Teacher to fill out your lunch forms. And I believe each classroom teacher may send home a form as well. It will be free for whoever wants it, but we do need to know who's going to be getting a lunch. We have upwards of 1,000 students, and so we did have a pre-order form as well as the form to apply just to see if you qualify for free or reduced lunch. Even though I believe the federal government is still doing it free for a year. I believe that is still the case. Again, Meet the Teacher will have exact information, but we do ask that you fill out the FRL form, and then there's a way to sign up, because if we only have 300 lunches, and we had last year a lot of kids because it was free, they would bring their own lunch. They had their own lunch, but then they'd want to go grab a hot lunch as well. So at a certain point, we ask that families start to at least just sign up and tell us what children we can expect to get a lunch, so that we have enough. We can't order 1,000 lunches every day and throw away 500 of them, but we also don't want to run out either. So there is a process to get those hot lunches, so that it just helps us order the right amount, so that there's no waste and there's plenty to have. So yes, that's a great question, and that information will be at the Meet the Teacher. And I'm going to write that down to start including the Panther periodical as well.
There was a couple questions. If you can't meet the teacher night, I would reach out via email to your child's teacher if you see it on the Infinite Campus. This way they are already connected and they can get you whatever information you need for day 1. Otherwise, your student will get a lot of information when they come in on day 1.
And I do want to direct you back to the website. Our faculty page is updated pretty much daily. So if you just click on a name, you will get an email. So once you do know your teacher, if you can't make it to the night and you want the information, you can always email them, and and they can provide you the information that you need to get to the first day of school. So here's our kinder team right here, our first grade team. So if you just click on a teacher, it'll take them to their bio page and then their email. And if you click their email, you can email them right there.
Does that include specialists?
Yes, specialists are on there as well. Here's all the specialists, and then special education teachers as well.
I would like to add to what Ms. Barbine said in regards to if you're not able to make it to meet the teacher, you will need to come into the front office the first day of school to get your placard. Students will not be able to get picked up from Car Loop if you do not have that placard through the Car Loop.
Hi, Mr. Haskam, I have a question.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, this is Mr. God. If I have a question,
Okay.
at the uniform store, there's no uniform that much. I've been checking almost 2 weeks. There's nothing that left. The number one, where do I have to find? Second, my daughter is on high school. The two of them they're gonna stay at this school up at Pancras Road. But I was looking for help, the school consideration, and I want them to get together in one place because I will be late attendance. It's difficult, dropping two locations to different places. So
To answer the first question, I know I was at the uniform store the other day and it was really, really full. I don't know if that was last week, and it was like jam-packed full, like any size, any style that you needed or wanted, you could get. If not, I would advise the PTO use uniform sale. And also there's a lot of people on the family's Facebook page that swap uniforms periodically from there. The second question, I believe, was some sort of correlation between drop off and pickup between our campus and Sloan Canyon. Unfortunately, Sloan Canyon being a K-12 school, they have multiple start and end times, and that's just up to the families to be able to coordinate how you're going to pick them up at a different time or at the same time as if they're getting released here at St. Rose. So we can't necessarily coordinate drop off and pickup times with Sloan because they're their own campus and they're a K-12 campus. Any other questions in the chat or on the Zoom? Amy, you're shaking your head, yes?
There was a question about parent volunteer.
Okay.
That would be through your classroom teacher would be able to discuss the volunteer.
Yeah, your classroom teacher will have that information. We are opening it back up. We don't have any restrictions as far as COVID goes for parent volunteers. If you volunteer on a regular basis, there's a time, I believe it's either 3 times a week or a certain amount of time per month. You do have to get background checked. You have to go get a fingerprint and a background check because it's considered regular contact with our children, and we don't allow anybody in the building with regular contact that is not cleared a background check with us. If you do it just once, it's okay, but if you do it a certain amount of days and times in a month or a week, then you do have to get cleared through a background check. And then, yeah, we're looking to get back with the field trips this year pre-COVID. We've got a lot planned for those that you'll get information to come. A lot of things coming back that we didn't do because of COVID. A lot more family picnic days and family STEM nights and things like that. We're really looking forward to doing a lot more of that kind of got stifled throughout the pandemic.
There's some questions about Class Dojo. Class Dojo is just for K-5. Middle school uses Infinite Campus for communication. And you can just download the app on any smartphone, or you can access it through the website. The teachers at meet and greet, the meet and greet for the Meet the Teacher, they will give you a class code that you will enter into your app so you're connected to the class.
So we did do that, I believe last year, the year before. We made it uniform, so all K-5 teachers use that same communication tool as a convenience for families. If you have multiple children, you can just have all your teachers listed right there, and it's one app for all your communication for all your children. Until they get to middle school, the teachers, since they have 124 students, Class Dojo is not really reasonable, so they just do Infinite Campus messages when they need to communicate out.
Sir?
Yeah.
Hi, just wanted to announce that PTO will be selling gently used uniforms at orientation. So if anybody wants to take a look while they're there, we will be there.
Yep, PTO does the gently used uniforms, $5 a piece. I believe it's $8 for the sweaters and hoodies. But that's a really great way to go about getting uniforms for your children. They grow up so fast and they grow out of their stuff so quickly that it's nice that, and we kind of have this, PTO has been wonderful in really kind of having this go throughout the year. So we'll, at most of our events, we'll have, if we do have a lot of used uniforms, we'll have them up there and for sale. And please write your names on a tag somewhere, please, please, please. Our Lost and Found just, I mean, it's another store. It's another uniform store after a couple of weeks. And we usually do recycle through that, but it's easier if we can just give it to if it has a name in it, we can just give it back to the child, and we don't have to go back through going through PTO and washing it and then trying to resell it. We'd love to just return it to whoever lost it. So please write their names on the tag or have it embroidered or whatever the case may be.
Mr. Haskell.
Yeah.
So regarding that name, I had my daughter's name on the jacket embroidered inside her jacket last year. And then when it became small for her, I gave it to Gently Used PTO thing. And it kept coming back to my house because it was in Lost and Found. I guess whoever bought that jacket lost it. And then I sent it back to school, and then it came back again to my house for the third time, and I just kept it. I'm like, okay.
Well, I guess that's a good, I guess that shows that our people are doing their due diligence and getting that stuff back to who it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, good point. If it is embroidered, I don't know if there's a way to remove it or cover it up or do
Yeah, I tried removing it and I could not take it off, and then it kept coming back to me. I was like, okay, I'll just keep it.
The used uniform sale, is that cash only?
I believe they do Venmo as well. Are you on still?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Ruby.
Yeah, so we take Venmo as well too as cash.
Thank you.
Quick question, Mr. Haskell.
Yeah.
If one parent got the invite email for this meeting, but not the other, how could we go about signing the other parent up for the email reminders?
You can go ahead and email Jennifer Bolden, and again, I'll show you right here on the faculty page. We did this today. We did this through what we call our database because our Infinite Campus right now has nobody in it. Usually I will send these through Infinite Campus, and as long as you and your spouse have their emails both checked to receive communication, you should both get it. Going through the database, we may not have all those emails in there, so it may be a little bit different. But here is our registrar, Jennifer Bolden, and you can check with her to make sure that you have all the emails on file.
And if I can jump in for a minute.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
That database, all of the emails that are in that database are the email addresses that you used. And this is really important for our existing families. So when we do use that database, that you get the information, that is for some of our parents, your original email that you used when you put in your application. And if you've been with us for 5-6 years, that could have changed. So you can go in and check that by going to our website, hitting the 22-23 tab. It's on the right-hand side at the top, and then just hit update. You can say add a sibling or edit your existing application. Select that. It's going to send you a link. Go in there and see what email address you put in there. I'm getting a lot of emails that get kicked back to me that are either put in incorrectly or just no longer are valid. So that's another way to make sure that no matter what system we use, you're going to get that communication.
All right, well, as always, our doors are always open, so to speak. Please reach out if you do have any questions through email, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. We understand, especially new families may have a ton of questions, and we're more than happy to answer any and all of them so that you feel prepared for the first day of school. You will be getting a ton of information on Meet the Teacher. So, be prepared to get all that. A lot of that information is going to be, how the teacher communicates with you, all the curriculum, all the expectations and things of that nature. I wanted you to be sure that you knew the uniform updates for the year and knew about the Meet the Teacher, and just wanted to say hi and open those lines of communication. And we're really excited to welcome the students back for a great new year. With that, I will end the meeting. Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Thank you.